Welcome to Who Put This On, Season 9, Episode 1. Woo woo! Season 9. Where we watch Extreme Makeover Home Edition 2024 2025 Season 1, Episode 1. Move that bus. I'm Chris Lorenz.
This was actually Extreme Life Makeover. This is Brian.
I like soda. I like wine. What about the morning? Coffee. I'm a tea chick. This is Noah Singer.
Check out this beautiful indoor-outdoor ring security system. This is McMaxenshins. See, it's like Max and McMansion.
Ooh.
Okay. All right. Well, welcome to the new season of Who Put This On, aka 2025. Sorry about last week's audio. It will be out probably before you listen to this, but as of recording, it is not out yet due to some audio issues. But we're getting there. Noah, what show do we watch this week?
A new iteration of Extreme Makeover Home Edition returns to ABC with Clea Shearer and Joanna Teplin, co-founders of the global lifestyle brand The Home Edit, set to host. Alongside designers Wendell Holland and Ariane Belazaire, Shearer and Teplin will harness their world-renowned organizational expertise to thoughtfully design and specifically tailor each home from the inside out. That is Extreme Makeover Home Edition on ABC.
You forgot the colon.
Say the colon?
I think you say the colon. Like what's the point?
There's something I have to get out of the way right before we start. I will accidentally call this Extreme Home Makeover. I'm sorry. It's going to happen.
Well, that's the brand. The brand is Extreme Home Makeover, right? Like, I don't understand how.
No,
like,
it's Extreme Makeover. No, I think that's the whole thing. It's Extreme Makeover, and then they dovetail, whether it's people, houses, cars. Like, I don't know what they do, but
right.
They
did other ones.
Anyone knows Extreme Home Makeover.
I agree.
I think people are familiar with Extreme Makeover, which is just about like somebody's style.
Never heard of anyone mention Extreme Makeover in my entire life.
No, but that's the whole. Wasn't it the original like plastic surgery thing?
No.
Yes. No, he's absolutely right. I'm on Wikipedia. Created by blah, blah, blah. The show depicts ordinary men and women undergoing extreme makeovers involving plastic surgery, exercise regimens, hairdressing, and wardrobing.
Oh, I thought you meant the reality show we watched about plastic surgery.
Oh, no.
No. Yeah, from 2002, Extreme Makeover. So this kicks it off. I mean, I'm going to go to Wikipedia too. I wonder if it's from Endemol as well. Because like Endemol is like the big beast, right? In reality TV. It's like the big brother juggernaut. I assume they take the brand and then they run with it.
The brand is Extreme Home Makeover.
No, there's no home in the middle. It's all Extreme Makeover Home Edition. Okay, we need to move on.
Yeah. Extreme weight loss.
Just very clunky branding.
Yes.
So this show is classic reality TV where they take a family and they like redo their house in a week. And they rebooted it in 2025. It ran from 2003 to 2020. So it like COVID killed it. It seems.
Makes sense.
Let's see.
The classic host used to be Ty Bennington.
Yep.
And literally the only reason I know that is because of the It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia episode about that parodies the show, which is fantastic.
He claims to be of partial Cherokee descent. Who knew?
Now you know.
I watched an episode of the old one earlier today or before this to like compare the differences. And the only note I have about Ty Bennington written down is that he has the same orange tan look that Trump has.
Yeah. By the way, it's Pennington with a P.
Yeah.
I said Bennington.
Penny. in your face.
Listeners at home, vote on our poll on Twitter, aka X, the Everything app. Is Chris saying Bennington or Pennington?
That's what I said. All right, so they replaced Ty Bennington with
Holy shit!
Clea and
How many
Joanna.
pennies are in nickel?
Oh my god.
Clea Shearer and Joanna Teplin are the new hosts.
Noah, can you tell me how famous this brand is? Because I've never heard this brand before. Home Edit.
I looked it up, and they had Organizing Your Home with the Home Edit on Netflix in 2022. So it sounds like they just poached these people from another show.
Did we not do that show?
Get Organized with the Home Edit? Are you thinking
Definitely.
about Marie Kondo?
I know we did Marie Kondo, but I thought maybe we talked about doing this show. That show,
Yeah.
I wish that we did it.
No, I don't remember talking about it, but like, also like, yeah, they showed the Netflix show in the ABC show, and they have 6.4 million Instagram followers, which is legit, right? Like,
But is that a
Maybe
global
even-
brand? How much does McDonald's have?
I mean, Chris, who put this on as a global brand?
Is it? I would not put an English only thing as a global
We've
brand.
recorded an entire episode in Canada. We're international, baby.
Does that make you global though? International is not global.
Where are we right now, Chris? On the globe?
I guess technically. I
That's,
don't really know
You just got lawyered.
what's the definition of global. Anyway, so
Yeah.
they come in, and I think they fail to replace Ty's energy here. Like Ty's energy is at like an 11, and these people energy is at like a 6. Like they're giving some energy, but they're like, we're so excited to clean your house and make you better. And like,
Yeah.
the original is way more about like gifting these people because their lives are so rough. They need a new house. They need a vacation. They don't need to be fixed. Whereas, like, that's what this show kind of
Yeah.
pertains to, at least this episode.
This show kind of addresses like bigger problems. Like, I mean, think about like the Queer Eye like folks. Like, they're going to address like multiple aspects of the house, like
Mhm.
your cooking, your like dress. They're like their focus may have been like organization, and they're going to focus on that clearly, which I think is a nice touch. But clearly, like, yeah, like they don't have like the same like house building stuff, whatever. Like the other dudes in the show also have like more enthusiasm there.
yeah.
Well, I'm
But-
not even saying that, like, the house part wasn't, like, good in this episode. I'm just saying that Ty brings, like, the biggest difference I can tell between the old one and the new one, which I watched an episode from season 3, so could have already changed by 2020. I don't know.
Right.
Is like they got like a whole vacation while they're building this house in the old one, and in this one they got homework to do.
yeah.
Yeah,
But I think
they
that,
actually have shit to deal with.
right. Like, I think people who have a lot of stuff to clean up in the home probably have some pretty severe underlying thing. So they're going to get more of that rather than people like down in their luck, which was like Extreme Makeover Home Edition prior.
All right, so let's talk about. I don't know if there's anything to talk about with Clea and Joanna. They like help them throw out a bunch of stuff.
Yeah,
So-
there's like
They've
no.
made it. One thing, they made it. So Reese Witherspoon's media company, Hello Sunshine, acquired them 2 years ago. So
Okay.
they've cashed in and they're still cashing. Like, they're doing pretty good.
Pretty impressive considering their personality-less nothings.
damn. I mean, Clea also like overcame a huge cancer thing in 2022.
Shame
Like-
it didn't give her a personality.
Wow.
Damn,
man,
that was rude.
Yeah,
I'm
that-
so
That was
sorry.
harsh. That was harsh right there for sure.
Maybe I need to
Yeah.
watch more. Maybe episode 1 was not.
No, so Katie was already following them on Instagram and showed me like some of their like tidying up stuff, and like that stuff was really cool. So I got excited about the organization piece.
Interesting. Yeah. So sorry, I'm going down a rabbit hole here, but so Reese Witherspoon's company was acquired by another media company.
Oh my god!
Was it Verizon?
Is
No,
it
you would
Procter
think
and Gamble?
no, it's called Candle Media, but it's interesting. So they own Coco Melon, which is like probably their biggest hit, and then they own some other production companies. But yeah, it's like this. The guy that used to run Hulu partner with something, and they just acquire these things.
All right. So then we've got, I think, the most famous person on the show, which is Wendell. He won season 38 of Survivor. Survivor
How
winner out of
recent
here.
was this?
Did they
Wait.
just do like 50 or something?
Season 47 is currently airing right
Okay,
now,
close.
or currently just finished. So they do 2 seasons a year. So if you go back 5
About
years
5
ago,
years.
I guess. He's a carpenter apparently, but they show him do 0 carpenter things in this episode. So I have my doubts.
I think he's a carpenter in the way Nick Jonas is a carpenter. Deep cut.
Deep cut. And then we got Ariane. She's an interior designer, and I think she does even less work than Wendell does. At least Wendell brings some sort of energy to this. He like knows the show he's in. He knows he's got to bring like some really fun beats and like some like one-offs. Like just kind of like come in and see what's going on in the construction. Let's do it. And he's the only one doing that.
I agree.
Yeah, he's bringing good energy.
There's too many hosts and not enough focus of their energy.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're kind of pushing Joanne and Clea a little under the bus. Like, I don't think they were terrible, but they definitely did not have that Pennington energy. But granted, I think we need to compare them with Pennington, probably like S09E01, E2 to see his, Pennington energy then.
Yeah, I mean, they can grow into it for sure. This is season 1, episode 1, but like you have Ty to look to. Like it's not like they got to make it up on their own, right? It's just they seem to be more focused on like their image and brand, and not like on the show they're on.
The home edit.
I mean,
yeah,
they definitely focused on that a lot. They're just like everything that they can show a rainbow organization, they did, and it looks cool. But like, it's a very different show than like the OG Extreme Home Makeover.
Yeah, let's talk about the families. So we got the Warren family. Gail is the mother, and she has 3 kids, and the grandmother lives with them, Grandma Lily, and her husband died of COVID 2 years before the filming of this, Fred. And that's their sob story, is that Fred died, and Gail, the whole episode is like Gail kind of moving on and just getting rid of Fred's stuff. That's like a good 30% of this episode, I think.
Yeah, it's an important thing for them to deal with in order to actually like keep a home afterwards. But and that's where like I kind of thought about like Queer Eye. It's like, hey, like they're trying to address like some like root stuff versus just like kind of helping them like get a house.
Yeah, it is nice.
Definitely more Queer Eye in here. I agree, Brian, with like the whole it was crazy. They took all their stuff from their house and put it in a warehouse and like set it up in like a weird pack. Have you ever seen like what's in my bag packing videos? And it's like it shows all their stuff in like a nice organized like box. Like not interlocking at all. All their stuff was in this warehouse.
And they had a lot. They had
Stuff.
a lot of clutter everywhere.
They were approaching hoarderism.
Well, I mean, it's just like, let's put it this way. They're in a 3-bedroom apartment with 5 people.
Yeah.
And, there's so much stuff 5 people have, I think, in general.
Yeah.
And then you throw in the dad stuff that they can't get, like, are having trouble getting rid of, which was like a whole half of a room. Like,
And I think having it splayed out in what's in my bag style definitely helped her see, like, holy shit, I do have to get rid of so much of this.
Oh, it was a great tactic. Like the producers crushed it. I just can't believe, like, between the house and this thing where they did the what's in my bag, there must be an army of people hustling on this show because they're producing in 5 days, right? Like that's all they have. Like it must be literally like a militia, just like hordes
got
of
a crew.
people. You need crews of crews. Binders.
well, we do know the company that did the housework, which was, I wrote it down, Taylor Morrison Home Builders. If you need a house in Texas, you can contact Taylor Morrison of Taylor Morrison Home Builders.
Is it just Texas? I wasn't sure if they were. It seemed like they're like a national.
I don't know. I just know that this house was in Texas.
Yes, they were outside Austin. I took notes on this. They were in Cedar Park, Texas, which is like
Hutto, Texas.
They moved to Hutto. So Cedar Park is where they were living, which is northwest of Austin. And then Hutto is like a bit more like just a bit more north, a little northeast. It's about a 25-minute drive across. So like close, but definitely like a new place.
Yeah. So one of the other big differences here is like the old one I watched on Hulu, by the way, season 3, episode 3. If you care to watch, they demolished a house and then built a new house on the foundation of the old house.
I've been waiting to talk about this.
And then the new episode, they just like started from foundation, seemingly, and then built the house in 5 days.
Yeah, that's not an extreme home makeover. That's a new house. That's not a makeover. What are they doing?
It's also not extreme home makeover. We've been over this.
Mm-hmm.
I called it that too. It's going to happen.
It's like extreme makeover whole damn house edition.
Like your whole life edition.
Yeah. I wanted to say whole life edition, but I wanted it to be more clever, and it didn't work out.
Quick internet detour. Taylor Morrison does build across the country. Not every state, but seems like 10 to 15. And they build in Seattle. They have new construction available to buy. There you go.
Don't ask me why, but recently I have been getting deep on like construction stuff, home construction, and apparently everybody hates these national builders because the quality is like universally terrible.
Ugh.
Yeah. I mean, the quality of these like home renovation shows is usually pretty terrible. And to build a house in 5 days, like, I don't know. That seems like a little quick for a really well-built house.
Yeah, I don't. Can an inspector even like say, "Yeah, this looks good" in 5 days?
I mean, you have to have so many. They must have like all the inspectors there because you got to inspect things before you do like plumbing and electrical and all this other stuff. Like, you can't just like do it without it being inspected like first.
Right. I'm saying it's binders full of crews. Like, this is a very cost-intensive show.
I mean, the best parts of the show are actually them showing building. Like, they showed like the spreadsheet of everything that has to happen like every 15 minutes. They have like, okay.
I don't think that was real. You think it was literally every 15 minutes?
I don't know if it is every 15 minutes. They might have a binder in 15-minute segments and like in these 4 hours, this has to happen.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because like, if you literally have that, that's about 100 segments a day. So it's like 500 line items of work. Like maybe it is that complex. I don't know.
And then like they showed there was like a big storm apparently, and there was a lot of mud. Was that this episode?
Yeah.
Now I'm getting them confused. And like literally went nowhere. Literally went nowhere. Like the next scene is like nothing. It's just like so weird.
Yeah, they made it. It was like, oh, torrential rains occurred, and it's like, oh shit, and they're like, but we kept on schedule. It's like, oh god, damn.
Yeah. I mean, what else are you gonna do?
Yeah, they need some sort of drama to go on.
But like, they didn't even make that much of the drama, to be honest.
They really
Like,
didn't.
and so I don't know whose bonus is on the line here, but someone was like, I'm getting this done in 5 days to get that bonus. Because otherwise it'd be reasonable to be like, oh yeah, it is torrential rain. Take a break.
But with the magic of editing, who knows how long it took?
Oh.
I mean, this kind of leads into like our whole like how long is each episode, or like the shooting schedule.
Yeah.
I mean,
what's the production schedule for this show?
That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, I mean, if I had to bet, it's probably a week per house.
I mean, the thing is that unexpected things can happen, and you have to allow for more time to make that house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you can say, okay, we're gonna do it in 5 days, but like you get torrential downpours, maybe something slips, you know, and it's like not the end of the world. That's the thing. It's like
it's exactly why I think 7 days is perfect, because then you have those 2 buffer days.
Well, there's probably a lot of filming going on with like the beginning of, you know, beforehand, before they even start demolishing the house. There's like a lot of shots.
Well, yeah, they had to lay the foundation, and like they're not like just doing that and like.
Well, the foundation, the foundation was laid already.
Yeah.
But I meant like of the family at the old house.
Oh, right. Yeah, they're doing a bunch of shooting.
Technically, they could film that while building the new house now, because they're not tearing it down, right?
Yeah.
So
they just gotta film the stuff and then collect all the stuff, put it in the warehouse.
Yeah. So then, one thing I want to note about the other episode I watched, they like show the whole army of blue people of the people dressed in blue, go into the house, and they just start tearing it apart. They have like sledgehammers, and like apparently this one guy, like he's tearing apart the cabinets, and he like hammers one of the cabinets right into Ty Bennington. and it's nuts. He gets a scratch. He gets hurt, which is like you can't get Ty hurt. Like he's the show. He gets hurt. Yeah. This whole production's down. And then right afterwards, they bring in a bulldozer and just bulldoze the freaking house. Like it was like useless to bring people in and have them demolish the house.
It's wild.
It was crazy.
Yeah. I also you can't just like run a bulldozer into the house. Like that thing's just gonna collapse on the bulldozer.
Well, I mean, they had professionals, Brian. I don't know what they were doing.
No.
They bulldozed the house. But like they did it the way they needed to.
Do you think Ty Pennington ever got to ride the bulldozer?
No. Maybe. Yeah. Maybe for a shot, you know.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
All right, back to this episode. So then they move the bus. Well, I guess there's also before they move the bus, like the hosts of this show are supposed to be coming up with the design for the house. And I feel like there's almost 0 shots of this happening. The only shots of them doing it, there's one shot of them being like, oh, we want a TV to come down from the ceiling. And
no, they didn't come up with that. The guy did.
Well, I'm just saying the 4 hosts.
Oh, the 4 of them. Yeah.
The 4 of them. And then somebody wanted zones. There's a zone room or whatever.
They're huge about zones. That's their
we'll talk about the zone room, but like I feel like these 4 hosts have literally nothing to do with this house and what actually gets done. Whereas I feel like the people in the original episode they had a lot more passion about what they were doing. And like they had like somebody was doing one room, somebody was doing another room, and they were like and it just felt like they actually were doing something, and it was really way more compelling to watch these people work than it was to watch anyone in the show work, because no one really cared. And I think the end result shows, which
Well, I don't know. Like the house, I get that they are not talking about the architecture of the house, but it seems like instead of showing the debate on the interior design, they just showed the result of the interior design, which could have been interesting. Like they seem to have a very clear philosophy and approach, which would be cool to learn that.
I'm not necessarily saying no one talked about how the house was going to be set up in either version of the show, as far as I could tell. It was just like, okay, one person in the other show was like, I'm going to do Kayla's room, and Kayla loves crayons, so I'm going to make a crayon themed room. And you followed her making this crayon room, which was like, and at the end, this crayon room was fantastic. Like, it was amazing. It was like custom made furniture. Everything was like crayon themed. And then this episode, they did like Kayla's room was like, yeah, we put a poster on the wall, like, and we put a bed in there. Like, there was like,
It's so
nothing.
generic.
It was like nothing.
Now,
Mhm.
don't get me. I watched a compilation of like best kids' room reveals of the old version, and some of them are truly crazy. And exactly the sort of thing where like, okay, once this kid gets 2 years older, they're not going to want a fucking police officer themed room. So maybe it's a good thing that they're a little less crazy, a little less wild.
But the thing is, like, I agree with you that it's probably better to have a room that's like, one of the rooms in the other episode was a Dr. Seuss themed room, which looked bananas. Like, it was a bananas looking room. And I could see not wanting a Dr. Seuss themed room at some point in your life, but they like really leaned into this Dr. Seuss theme the whole episode, and like had this guy like quoting Dr. Seuss and coming up with his own rhymes. And it was just like gave this show so much character. Like, what's the character in this show? Like, getting rid of some guy's stuff? Like, there's no character.
The character is being wholesome and like compassionate.
Yeah.
That's just not entertaining.
Right, Brian. I feel like you can do that and still have personality, and this is just so
No, I mean-
Chip and Joanna Gaines boring.
No, like I think that they could have added stuff, but also like I mean, they're just like focused on like the organization aspect. That's like a lot more is lost.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying that I think that they're
Yeah.
more focused on the organization, which is like
Totally.
their brand, and they're
Yeah.
taking over the show. It's like their brand. That's fine.
Yeah, the home
They're
edit.
not Ty Pennington,
Yeah.
and and that's fine. But I'm also trying to watch an entertaining show.
Yeah, definitely called the home edit, not the home new.
Yeah.
It's on brand.
So they move it. They move the bus, and they're godsmacked about how big their house is, because they went from a 3-bedroom, I don't know how many bath, to a 5-bedroom, 3-bath house, which that's pretty good. It's a pretty big house.
Oh yeah.
Some people on this chat might have a similar size house. I don't know.
Do we?
And
I don't know.
we can talk about it later, Noah. So they first get to like this kitchen area, and like they have like they go into the pantry, and it's all organized. Everything is organized and labeled, and like
It's beautiful.
the kitchen but the house looks so sterile. Like, I don't know if it's just like the current meta of house style right now is just like be boring as fuck, but this house is boring. Like, everything was white or beige or like gray and white, and like it was just like there's no fun. There's no fun in this house other than like you hid things. They hid things in the wall. They hid a cereal thing. They
It's
hid
not. Yeah, it's not like over the top, but it looked great. I don't know. Yeah, it's not Dr. Seuss for sure.
Yeah.
It is much more practical, which I think fits.
I don't know.
Chris is
I don't
definitely
think
going
so.
for the
I don't
crazy
think
stuff.
so. I want to see some fun stuff. Where's my fun? I don't want boring white rooms. I don't want
Mm.
boring white walls. I want something exciting.
Nothing about this is extreme.
That
Hmm.
He's just
That's actually a fair point.
this is
Where's the
Makeover
extreme?
Home Edition. This is build a new home that does not reflect your personality at all. One of the data points they collect and are like, oh, we got to action on this is like, do you drink tea and coffee in the morning? Holy shit, you got to have a coffee zone. Well, your kids like cereal? You got to have a cereal zone. There's a lot of zone talk.
Also,
yeah.
That's a good point though. It's not extreme. That's yeah.
They
It's a
literally
makeover.
have two like living areas, and the one living area they said one thing about was like, this is the quiet living area, and there's like one pan, and then like you move on. Like I could see people not even knowing they have a living room because they didn't even talk about it.
It went really quick. It was an open concept kitchen to living room, and yeah, they kind of just like glazed over it kind of easily.
They're like, you have 3 kids, lady. What do you need a quiet living room for? You don't need a quiet living room.
Well, one thing that was a little weird too, like talking about the kids and like, is they have a pretty large plot of land. It seemed like they showed the surrounding area. It's unclear like what land is actually theirs, right? But there was like no landscaping. It was like it was just like this house and this like little bit of landscaping in the front for like a nice view, but then it was like kind of dirt. Like I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah, they didn't have any immediate neighbors on their block. There was like the block was empty except for just their house. Now across the street there seemed to be a bunch of new developments, but
Right.
I wouldn't want to live here.
It was a
I don't
little
know,
weird.
it's-
But also for like the makeover, it's like finish the damn job.
yeah.
Like don't just build them a house on like a plot of dirt. Like put the grass down. Put a fence up. Put a pool in. They're in Texas. Like, I don't know. Like finish
That
the job.
is one thing they did in the other episode I watched was they like had a finished backyard, and they had a big reveal about like there was some sort of like dance happened in the backyard. Like, I don't think I'm a fan of either version of the show, to be honest. But like the old version of the show was entertaining. Like I was entertained, and that's pretty big for like a home makeover, like a home renovation style show to keep me entertained.
Yeah.
The show did not. Shocking.
This is very, I think, like Target in the center of background TV. You can dip in and out every 5-10 minutes, and you're totally on track. Like, and then you can the reveals. Oh, cool! Popcorn thing in the wall. Great, that's kind of neat. Oh, rainbow pens. Cool, that's kind of neat. You know, like,
When you said Target, I thought you were going to go like literally into them. This is like literally if you like the department store Target, you like the show.
no, I think we would have known if Target sponsored this show, which
Oh,
I
yeah.
do.
Target
all the
definitely not a
blatant-
sponsor.
all the blatant product placement in this show is just such a chef kiss. It's so nice.
Taylor Morrison, proud builder of this house. Definitely a sponsor.
Ring is a big one. Those pens, they got those brand shots in. The Sunbelt rentals, everything's branded. So funny.
How else do you think they make this show, Noah? If they
I
don't
know.
get the branding, the show doesn't exist.
No, I know it was.
True.
I just found it funny. All the B-roll of just like get it on screen for 1 second, 2 seconds, it paid more. You know?
Yeah. So we talked about the kids' rooms, and the kids' rooms are just boring AF. Like, there's nothing to note about them. And then the only room that seems customized to them is the second living area, which they crammed so much stuff into this living area when they have a whole other living area to use. Like the whole living room. Why do you need to have this zone system in this other living area when you could just put the TV in the regular living room? Like, so there's a TV that comes down from the ceiling, which good luck fixing that if that ever breaks.
Oh
I know.
God, yeah.
It killed me. I was like, oh God. How, they got to change an HDMI cord. The
Like,
TV. Oh God.
yeah, like good luck doing anything with that TV. ever.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm,
so
I'm
that's
glad
one
we all
zone.
thought of that because I was like, no.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it looks sick. I just would never want that in my home.
Well,
Yeah,
on the
this,
I
bright
want
side, the
that
way
in my Airbnb.
they did it though, thought that was pretty nice. It actually comes down to like shoulder level, it seemed like. So like, okay, if you got to futz around with things, but I think the hard part is like beyond the TV software or maybe like a Roku thing you can like tape onto the back. Like that's kind of it, which probably is suitable for most things, but yeah, I was just like, oh no, just the amount of times you have to access the back of the TV to troubleshoot things, or else if they want a new TV in 3 years because TV technology changes. Fuck.
I'm more concerned about like the mechanism to go up and down breaking.
Yep. That
Oh,
thing
mechanical.
that thing busts, like all of a sudden you're very upset that's either permanently up or permanently down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the entertainment zone of the room is you hide the TV. And then there's like a school zone where they have like a desk, two desks with computers. And then there's a music zone where they cover the bookshelves and then open up into like this, like all these instruments come out with like a piano and a bunch of
Yeah.
instruments on the wall.
Super cool.
I
And
mean,
the books were rainbowed too. That was a nice touch.
They always do the rainbow stuff. I mean, it
Yeah, I
looks
didn't
cool and everything. It's I really appreciate that, but at the same time, it's like I don't know how many types of candies I need that are like this, like all this rainbow. Just give me the
Yeah.
classics.
I was more worried about the books. I was like, what did you just where did you get all these weird random colored books from? Like, how is this like
This is probably some kid you can buy.
I mean,
Oh,
I'm
probably.
just like,
Or
what are
you
the
just
books? What are we reading here?
or they went to their local used bookstore and were like, "Give me all your red ones."
No way. They had so many random colors of books. Like, I think you're probably right. There must be a set, and then you're like, how you could specify, right? I need like 8 feet of green book. It's probably
Are
I'm
they
sure.
real books? Like, are we reading like Moby Dick here? Like, are we reading You're a Badass? Like, what kind of books are we reading? History books? Like, what kind of books are we looking at here?
I remember looking at the titles. It was fairly eclectic, and I was like, "Who's gonna read that?" But I forget the specifics. Let's see if we can buy this. This is a kind of. I'm gonna go in the corner for a second.
All right, while you go in the corner, what else? Oh, the other thing I have is like, okay, so imagine you're watching TV and you're like, you know what I need on my coffee table? An etched drawing of my dad that has passed away like 4 years ago. Like it just like doesn't seem an appropriate place for that.
Yeah, like I'm just gonna be like, cool. Now I guess I can't put anything on that square.
You know where it would be an appropriate place for that? Your quiet living room where you can contemplate and sit and think about your dad and not like while you're watching Fast X Part
Yeah,
1.
I just think there's 20 better ways to do it than a weird little etching.
So I found a purveyor of the books. There's an Etsy shop, very high reviews, and it looks identical to what they got. So it costs about like it varies like $50 to $100 a foot, which isn't terrible. Because I guess like white books are more popular, right, than like green books, and so it varies like that. Yeah, so $50 to $100 a foot.
What kind of books does it say? Is it just random?
It's not clear. Like I'm trying to get more. It's
Like
it's not.
you can't have like the whole Harry Potter set because that's the whole it'll be all red. Screws up the whole thing. So you can only have like one Harry Potter book and like
Yeah.
one Narnia book.
It is unclear. I will say they do not appear to be like popular books. They're just random books that happen to
Talk
fit.
about like the show, and it's like getting rid of stuff you don't want. Let me just add a bunch of books you'll never want.
Yeah, they do look like real books. I will say that. But it's hard to. Oh no, they are real books. Yeah, no, they are real books. I mean, it seems honestly for like I don't know, $500 to $1,000, like something like that. It's a very appealing look. I think it looks super cool. If you think of it as like furniture or decoration or whatever, I think it's neat.
Next time at Noah's house.
In like 15 years, I don't know. Maybe I'll do it. That's what I keep saying for anything. I'm like, oh, that might break. Yeah, in like 15 years. Something like that.
All right. Who's the worst human being? Do we have one?
The scientists at the lab in Wuhan.
Yeah, that works.
All right. That's what we can go with. Would the show be better as a Quibi or TikTok?
I don't think so. You can break it down, but like I don't think it's going to be like much better.
It moved.
Yeah.
I mean, did it though?
Like
I could have done without. I could have done with introduce me to the family. Nothing about building it because they didn't show us anything interesting. Show us the reveal.
yeah. I mean, their reveal, like their tips on interior design, I think it's very ticked.
Yep.
So it's like a little bit of a different delivery system.
What are some interesting tips you learned?
Rainbows,
You can buy colored books.
Zones.
zones, and put a popcorn
Zones is
machine.
the only thing they talked about.
Yeah,
Is there anything
everything
else
is
you could have learned?
the popcorn machine.
Throw out your dead husband's stuff.
Yeah. I forgot about my dad.
You know what's funny to me is this segment is now going to be filled with 2 failed platforms.
Well, I would say TikTok failed. I would say they.
Would this show be better as a Chow Hong Shu?
I'm just
man.
it's failed in a way where it's not available. It's gone. Like it will be gone.
I would say they might go out on top. They might George it, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, we're out.
It's not over till the fat lady sings, Chris.
Isn't it it's supposed to be like 5 days from now or 4
Yeah.
days from now?
Correct.
So,
I mean, it seems that Elon's going to buy it and he'll operate it.
yeah, okay. I'm leaving it if Elon buys it.
Yeah.
I'm uninstalling.
That's the worst case.
It definitely seems like the most likely.
I think the most likely scenario is it's gone.
Nah.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
You don't
I mean,
think
it
so?
could
Should we put a bet on it?
I'd put a bet on this.
So wait, is the bet gone or there's a few ways. So there's 3 options that seem most likely. So 1, it continues operating in the US, right? 2, this is where a third option comes in. It doesn't continue operating and no one has access. Or 3, it doesn't continue operating, but only new people cannot download the app, or you cannot download the app anymore.
I think the third is what's going to happen. I'm more interested in betting on will Musk take it, which I think absolutely not, and I will bet $84 on it.
No, I'm saying the TikTok ban will go into effect. There will be like a forced day or something where like Congress
Number
gives them
2.
an extra like 3 months or whatever. That maybe, but I think that TikTok will be banned. What does banned mean? I don't know.
No, but
I
that's the point.
assume-
Of that. So it's like India, right? Like you open the app and it's like we can't connect.
I assume you open the app and it's just done.
Yeah.
Like there's no like you can't download the app anymore. I mean like the servers are now turned off from your ISP. Like you can't connect to them unless you VPN in to like Europe or somewhere. It's like still available in Europe. But in the US it's done.
Yeah. I will take a bet on the binary of like on January 20th, right? Because that's the 19th. Right? So I'll take a bet that January 20th, TikTok is still accessible.
No,
to American users.
I'm not taking that. I'll take the bet that within the year it will be done.
Mm. Let me think about it for a few minutes. Let's get through the questions.
Okay, all right. Let's do some drinking rules for this show. So obviously you gotta drink a whole lot when they move that bus. You gotta be
Shotgun
like,
Mm.
I mean, like shotgun would be good. Like if you could do it, that would be the ideal situation.
Every time they say zone, you have to go over to your alcohol zone and reach into the cup zone, grab a cup, and make a cocktail in the alcohol zone.
Do you have to drink the cocktail or just make the cocktail?
Just make it.
Brian, do you have any drinking rules?
Every time you spot a rainbow, take a drink.
Let's go on. Noah?
Yes. Every time you need to throw something out, throw something back.
This one might be a little too rough, but if you got to do it, you got to do it. Anytime they mention the sob story of the week, take a drink.
That's gonna be like every episode.
No, I mean it's every episode has a sob story.
Yeah, or like it's gonna be like throughout the entire episode. That's what I meant.
Obviously, you're going to be drinking. That's what I'm saying. Could be hard.
So I'm going to say, take a drink. I don't know how to phrase this, but like, I don't think this show's going to go on in the current format. I think they're going to get new hosts after the season. So it's like, take a drink for every episode they don't get made for some period of time. It's a bad drinking rule.
Yeah, it is. All right, we're going to go to our next favorite question. What speed did Max watch this episode at? Noah?
I do want to throw an interesting wrench into this. I watched this in the most unhinged way possible because Hulu was broken, so it was only available on ABC. So I watched it on the LG TV built-in web browser on abc.com.
And clearly in this, I don't even know what's playing the video at this point. They have a speed option because need a feature, of course.
Yeah, abc.com doesn't have a speed feature. So I'm going to clearly we're all going one because how could you have watched it any faster?
My mind is blown because
are you sure about that, Chris?
You could have Chromecasted it. You could probably install the extension or something.
That's what I mean. We don't know how the video is actually playing. Like, yes, it's from abc.com, but it's going to some video player on LG.
Well, guess, Noah. Tell me.
So Max of the show moved. I don't think it moved. So I'm going to go at 1.5x.
Oh,
Ryan, what do you got?
I'll go 2x.
Max?
I started it off with AirPlay at 1.25x, and that kept fucking up, so I had to deal with 1x using the LG TV.
Dun, dun, dun. Told you.
You could have even Chromecasted it.
Chromecast doesn't allow video speed changes. AirPlay does.
I thought I saw the video speed thing coming up when I was Chromecasting.
What to tell you?
So 1.125 is
sure.
I won. Okay, calm down. Let's do ratings. We do a stack ranking system between top, middle, and bottom third. Brian, what do you got for me?
This is tough. I think the very point of this wasn't that extreme, really hits home, but I enjoyed it in the same reason that I liked Queer Eye. It felt like something was being healed versus just hey, let's do this, tear down the house and build some crazy shit. I think I'm going to go top of the middle. I want to check out another episode and see if it moves in the same way. But I did like it. I think sob story aside, I like the rainbows. I like the organization. Need to do more with the building though.
Noah, what do you got for me?
I was shocked. We didn't actually talk about that much. That there is nothing about the show besides the resolution quality this show could be in the year 2000. Like the delivery of this show felt like I was watching the first version of the show. It was just so formulaic. So I think there's a lot to be said that they clearly have a winning formula. In terms of my own enjoyment, I really thought this could be a 20-minute show instead of a 60-minute show, or 22 minutes instead of 42 minutes. I think that would make this a lot more enjoyable. So definitely not a top. I think it's hard to put it as a bottom show because this is a winning formula. And so I think it has to be a solid middle. Like this is what reality TV delivers. And if you want to tune into reality TV and like home shit, like this is it, or House Hunters, right? It's like canonical house reality TV show, middle.
Max, what do you got for us?
This was very nearly in the bottom third. The only reason I'm not putting it there is the sob story kind of hits, and I would feel bad putting them in the bottom third. So middle third, bottom of the middle.
Yeah, I struggle with this. I like trying to comparing the two versions of the show with Ty Bennington, and like that version of the show, I think is a top third show. Like the sob story was way better, way more engaging. The host was more engaging. The like building part was more engaging. Everything about the show was better. And I think that would probably be like a bottom of the top type show because it's not like my format of show. And sob stories aren't my thing, but it might have been one of the better sob stories I've ever seen in one of these shows. And like,
What was the sob story in the first one?
the sob story was somebody got their leg, a medic got their leg. Um, what is it? He got his leg cut off in Iraq.
Yeah.
Like he got hit by one of those explosives.
IEDs.
Yeah, in Iraq, and like it was done really well. Like instead of going on vacation, like he went and got like prosthetic leg and like a whole week to like train on it and stuff. It was done. It was a great episode. Great episode of television. This episode of television, not great. Not a great episode of television. I'll put it in the bottom of the middle because I do think that like one thing we didn't hit on was like the sob story piece. Like this is like the classic, I think, reality show that even almost maybe not starts the sob story, but like it's like the main focus of the show is the sob story and like the charity involved with the sob story itself. And they did pick a good sob story this week. I don't know if they always pick a good sob story, but like it's a solid sob story, so I'll put it in the bottom of the middle. But you definitely like this. I wouldn't watch more of this. I would watch more of the old one because I've never seen it. It's much better, like in most ways, to be honest, in my perspective. So, but only a couple episodes are on Hulu. Seasons are on Hulu, so not the latest. There's also some on Netflix, apparently.
I saw quite a few old ones on YouTube on the official Extreme Home Makeover Home Edition Makeover Edition.
I would rather watch those than the new one. But the new one definitely adds that Queer Eye element. So if you like that Queer Eye element of like helping people more than just giving them a free house, could be more compelling.
Yeah. Or I don't know. We can see what they get done for season 2. Maybe they turn around.
Tell us what you thought about the show on X at Who Put This On. And now we do shout outs of other stuff we've been watching. And it's been a long time, so maybe people got some good stuff to suggest. Brian, you have anything good?
Katie and I have been like checking out more of the later daters. That's been a lot of fun.
The lost episode of the podcast.
Yeah, I think that should probably be in my top 5. I can't remember if I put it in there, but
Oh, shit.
Does it qualify if it's a lost episode?
I think so.
Yeah, like I mean, I guess I didn't really like look at it just because the ratings weren't there, so I couldn't really compare it. Who knows? It'll be an honorable mention.
Yeah, spoiler alert for the episode we haven't released yet, or semi-released.
Yeah.
Gone
Other than that,
history.
we're like slowly getting through Squid Games.
Oh,
Ooh.
Squid Game season 2. That's my shout out. I was pleasantly surprised because Squid Game season 1 doesn't set up a season 2 very well, so I was surprised kind of how well season 2 worked out. For
Yeah,
me.
I was gonna shout that out too. Be like, a little
Hmm.
independent production you might not have heard of. Um, yeah, I mean, it was interesting how they added on to the story because it was not clear how they were gonna do it.
Although
Very very enjoyable.
they can leave that like cop guy and ignore his storyline. So stupid. No one cares
Well,
about
I
that guy.
they need to close it out, right? Like without going into spoilers or anything. They need
Yeah,
to,
please no spoilers.
yeah, they need to close out the storyline.
Yeah. Okay. Noah, any other shout outs?
Yeah, so Squid Game is going to be one, and then I started watching a show called Bookie on Max. I want to watch. Um, it has Sebastian Maniscalco. Um, they're in the middle of releasing season 2, so it's like a weekly drop. Very enjoyable. They're like 20-minute episodes, 20, 25 minutes. Um, shockingly produced and like heavily seems like involved by Chuck Lorre, who did all like the typical sitcoms. Um, yeah, I highly recommend. It's like super easy to watch, funny. It's good. Bookie.
Max, you got any shout outs?
I've started day 9 of the 5th book of the Stormlight Archive. It's good.
Wind and Truth.
Yeah.
And
It's good so far.
yeah, that's pretty much what I did for most of my December was read that book. It took a long time. It's like 1,400 pages. Lots to read.
Yeah, I'm audiobook mode.
Damn.
Uh,
Yeah. I tried listening to the new audiobook by Nate Silver. Not that good. We were thinking about it.
All right,
Just-
Nate Silver, you heard it. Write a better book.
It's just like very esoteric on poker, and then I guess he then. So I didn't realize that Nate Silver was actually a very good poker player, and then he got into this like political thing through like being a statistician. Like his
Mhm.
bread and butter is like poker, and then
I think his bread and butter is baseball.
maybe in addition, like he just seems like I don't know anything that you can be like stats and, but it just was like so deep on poker and like the minutia of the world and the peoples, and it's like, bro, I don't.
I'm not gonna lie. I was gonna ignore it, but I have no idea who you're talking about.
Do you know the website 538?
Yeah.
He's 538, except 538 no longer exists. But you got the gist.
Oh, really? Doesn't?
He stepped down from it. They might be still using the brands somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, he got famous because I think he was one of the few people that predicted Trump that had like a decent enough platform.
Much earlier, he was like one of the few people who predicted, I think, Obama.
Oh, really? Oh, was that him? Yeah. So I mean, he definitely made a name for himself, rightly so, like deserved. Cashed in, doing good.
All right. We'll end on this shout out that Severance is coming back this week. Season 1, we just rewatched it. Still great that season of television. Very excited for season 2. You should watch it. And next week, I believe we're going to be watching Worst Cooks in America.
Worst.
I don't know what episode, so stay tuned. But that's what we're going to be watching. All right. And you can find us on Twitter at Who Put This On. You can find us on Facebook.com/Who Put This On. Email us questions and suggestions at whoputthison@gmail.com. And we'll see you guys next time.